Everyone tells you downsizing is a logistics problem. Sort, sell, donate, done. It isn't. About 90% of your stuff really is that easy. And then you hit a handful of things that just stop you in your tracks. They're pieces of you. Nobody warned you about those things, so that's what I'm handing you today. How to see your own hard things coming before you're standing there frozen in the middle of your living room. Here's how we learned about it. We emptied our house in 30 days, 20 years of stuff, sold, donated, gone. And most of it, pretty easy, lighter even. But 4 things almost broke us. 4 things I couldn't get through. I couldn't put it into a pile without stopping. I'm gonna walk you through our 4 today, not because our 4 matter to you, but because watching how we got stuck and unstuck is the fastest way to spot yours. Because I promise you, you have 4 too. Quick catch up. If you're new here, the house sold in 48 hours. That story is up there. And how we actually sold and donated a whole house, the logistics, I've covered that too. This video is the part of logistics that didn't get covered. Because here's what the first week teaches you, and it'll be true for you too. Most of what fills our home is just packaging. It's not the life, it's the wrapping around the life. The lamp you bought on sale, the gadgets that are still in their box, the maybe I'll need this someday pile. Letting that go feels great. Like the house is finally exhaling. But brace yourself for this part because it's the part that ambitious people. The easy stuff runs out. And then you're left standing there holding the things that aren't things at all. That's where I want you to be prepared. Let me show you ours. The first one. It's a box of film reels my dad took years ago, birthdays, holidays, family get-togethers. I had them converted to VHS so that we could watch them. Now technology has moved on again and everyone gives you the same obvious answer. Just digitize them. I don't have the heart to convert them one more time. And it took me a while to understand. It's not about the money. It's that I finally realized I don't need to watch them again. Every one of them, those moments are right here. I already have them. The reels don't hold the memory, I do. So my plan isn't to save or toss them, it's to ask the family, who wants to be the keeper now? And if you're the family archivist, the one who somehow ended up with all the photos, the films, the boxes that nobody else wanted, hear this because it's the thing that freed me. You do not have to get rid of them, but you don't have to be the keeper forever. You just have to find the next one. That single shift takes a whole category of guilt off your shoulders. It did mine. And so I want to thank my brother for being the next archivist. The second one, it hangs on the wall. I've always wanted a large original piece of art of my own, my whole adult life. And a couple of years ago, we finally did it. This one. The whole plan when we thought we were going to move to Thailand, it was going with us. It was a non-negotiable. It was going to be shipped across the world no matter the cost. That's how much we love it. But there's no wall in a life with no address. So we decided to let it go. Only problem is we immediately hit a wall. How? You can't list a piece like this next to the used couch. Nobody's shopping for your most valuable thing in the same place that they're going to buy a lamp. There's no wall at the consignment store for the thing you love the most. So here's the part I wish someone had handed me, and I'm handing it to you. Your most valuable item does not travel the same road as the rest of your stuff. Don't dump it on the marketplace and just watch it sit. Go back to the source if you have to. For us, if it doesn't sell, I'm going to reach out to the artist himself to offer it back so he can send it on to someone new, the way everything else in our house started over with someone new. Whoever made it, whoever gave it to you, is your first call. And that's the reframe that finally got me through all of it. The painting didn't change. We love it exactly as much as the day it went up. Our life changed. And it deserves a wall more than we deserve to keep it in the dark. The third thing isn't mine, and I have to let Steve tell his own story.
This probably most significant item that's still on my list in terms of downsizing and figuring out what to do with long term is one of my road bikes. I have 3, 2 we're already actively trying to sell. The third is my newest, most custom bike that was a project for me during COVID, and I researched every component of it from top to bottom, exactly what I wanted for everything. Specifically got a frame material that would last the rest of my life. I had it customized with a name referring to Cindy. It's actually called Cindy's Nemesis right on the frame. So the question becomes, do you sell it and accept that if we're ever in a place where cycling is a regular option, you start over? Or do you find somewhere to store it? So that's the quandary. And there have actually been times in the last few months where I was very close to deciding it's just easier long-term if I sell it or give it away. And then the next day I think to myself, we don't know how long the slow travel lifestyle is going to feel right. I'll never give up hiking or running or these other things that you can do with almost no equipment. But road cycling is not something you can do safely everywhere.
Another thing is that this has been part of Steve's identity since
I was 14.
14.
So overall, it's been the single item I've probably given the most thought to in terms of changing our lifestyle, downsizing, and figuring out what do I do with this hobby that's been so central to my identity for the bulk of my life. And it's a continuing puzzle to navigate as we figure out what it makes sense to do in terms of storage, how much we can impose upon family comfortably, and such things. But it's a work in progress.
And here's the honest answer, the one that might be yours too. As of filming, he hasn't decided. We used to think that not deciding was a failure. It isn't. Some doors you're allowed to leave open a little longer. The trick is being honest about what you're doing. If you're keeping something because you generally choose to, that is completely fine. If you're keeping it to avoid the decision, that's a different thing wearing the same coat. Name which one it is, and the box stops haunting you. And then there's the fourth thing, the one I couldn't reason my way through at all. My dad had a portrait painted of me when I was in elementary. Not the family, just me, his only little girl. He commissioned it and it hung in his home because he wanted to look at it. It's hung in every home I've had since he has passed. It was never a question. It just came with us until now because there are no walls. Every other thing in that house, I could at least figure out the options. This one, I'd walk past and just stop. And every single time, you can't sell it. Who sells that? Can't give it away. To whom? This is sort of personal. And around the 4th or 5th time I froze in front of it, I finally understood what was happening. I wasn't stuck on what to do with the painting. I was stuck on letting go of her. That little girl on the canvas who left her dad and vice versa. So if there's one item in your house you keep circling, the one you can't sell, can't donate, can't even explain to anyone, stop and ask what it's actually standing in for, because it's almost never about the object. Mine wasn't a painting, it was my dad. And a question I never got to ask him: what did he see when he looked at her? Once I understood that, the decision stopped being about logistics, and honestly, it stopped being something I could rush. So here's where it landed. Right now, it's in limbo. The one thing I swore would never go into storage. In my heart, I know what I want to do with it. But that decision requires a discussion between my dad and I. I know in my heart what I want to do. I'm just sitting with it. And I think he would understand that. Four things, and everyone taught us something that you can take with you. The reels, you can pass that keeper's job on to someone else. The artwork, things can go back to where they came from. The bike, some doors can stay open on purpose if you're honest about it. And the portrait, the hardest one, some things you don't decide. You carry them until you're ready. So here's what I want you to walk out of this with. The easy stuff is packaging. The hard stuff, it's a mirror. And if you're in the middle of your own letting go and there's one thing you can't figure out, don't skip it. Sit with it. It's usually pointing at something that matters. I bet your one thing came to mind while I was talking. Tell me what it is, because every single person watching this has one. As for our four, the reels are waiting for the next keeper. The artwork is waiting on the artist or a potential buyer. The bike, as of today, is still winning. And my childhood portrait is somewhere safe. The house is empty, the keys are gone, and everyone keeps asking, do you have any regrets? That answer surprised even me. But that's a story coming up next week. Thanks for watching. See you in the next adventure. How did I do? Could have been better. Snarky as always. Gosh. She has an attitude. Don't judge me. Looks like you're judging me. Enjoy that hair. It turns gray.